So for no particular reason and because nobody really actually asked for it, let's do a drawing of Popeye, which we haven't done in a while, from the Fleischer Studio. Here's model sheets. There's an old one. Doesn't have a date on it, so we don't know exactly when. There's olive oil, Bluto, Popeye in an action pose. Now a couple pages later, there's another Popeye sheet. And this one, it says, is drawn by one of their directing animators, Roland Crandall. And it's really well done. You'll notice a little difference between this one and this one, which I'm assuming this one was done first. But there's slight differences in the way he's posed and his posture, the way his legs are drawn, his arms are drawn, compared to this one. So let us draw from this Popeye model sheet. Look at the construction. Basic circle, elongated circle, cylinder for a neck, cylinder for a body, more elongated circles for his legs, bell-bottom pants, tubes for arms, big bulbous forearm, and a circle for his hands, which gets bigger when they actually draw the hands at the end of the arm. So let's take a look at how we can do a drawing of Popeye based on this model sheet, which I'm probably just going to draw a stick figure to these proportions and turn it into Popeye. So let's see how we can do that. Get our trusty blue pencil here. And first thing we might want to say is, well, what kind of pose do we want to do? Well, maybe he's walking. So we want to do a walking pose of Popeye, which we'll start with a circle here. And his neck, his body, which has to be a certain proportion coming down. His jaw is going to stick out like that. And his body's going to come down here. And we're going to do stick figures. And he would swing his arms around. So there would be that arm, his fist, and this arm back like that with his fist. Now, once we have this, we can say, well, is his head down because he's angry at something, or is his head up because he's happy about something? Let's put his head up. And let's say he's really happy that he's going to go see Olive. And then we can put in some really fast details of where we want things to be. That eye is open. Eyebrow there. The other eye is closed. And his ear is back here. His jawline comes here. Back of his head comes up like that. And start making small corrections as we go. There's a stick inside his arm, but we want to make that giant forearm like that. And a giant forearm over here, which can come right around like that. And then his fists. There's one fist. And then the other one. Don't get too caught up in the details yet. He has little things on his elbows. Bottom of his shirt comes around like this. And then there's a piece here for his butt, it seems. And his right leg is out. But we just want to stick there for now because he has these big bulbous legs. So there's one. And then a knob on the top. And then the other leg comes down like that, pretty bulbous because he wears bell bottoms, because that's what sailors wear, right? Big bulbous leg again. Knob. Flared out bottom of the leg because he wears bell bottoms. And you see why I keep things rough. Nothing is tied down until we start getting into this part of the pose. He doesn't have really big feet, and he wears these big shoes though. Let's say his feet come down like this. And let's say that he's stepping down. He's just coming off a step. Kind of like that. This comes here. And then he's got to wear that sailor's cap, which goes right back here towards his ear. Doesn't have to go on his ear. And then this ball here, and the other ball like that. I think this brim can come across him like this. And that line can go back a little bit like that. This line here comes around like that. So he's got sleeves here, here, so by making these circles for where his hands should be, you've defined how big his hands are going to be when you draw them in. Gives you something to draw too, right? Three and four. Comes down here. Like that. And then he's got this collar that comes right across the back. Looks like they've got it such sometimes that his shoulder is coming out of that collar, other times it's not. And this is black. There's a roll, and then his belt is underneath it. And he usually wears sailor white pants, but a dark shirt. Dark navy shirt, I guess. And of course, he has to have his tattoo. With a line there. So there you have a really quick way to draw Popeye the Sailor Man. And I'm keeping up with all the newest cartoons by showing you something from 1936. And maybe there was a door here that he just walked out of. And molding around the door. And the thickness of the door jamb itself. Going inside the house. The door is open like this. And maybe the planks on the door run down like that. So these have to be wood. So the BG layout knows what to do with this. And BG Paint knows what to do. And maybe there's a window near the door. And it comes down like that. And maybe this is the end of the house right here. Put some grass in there. There's a walking path here. That's what he's going to be walking on. Maybe there's some shadow underneath him. And there's grass both sides. Here is concrete. Maybe there's a tree trunk here. Some bark. And beyond the house, there's a fence back here because there's a lot of land, I guess. And maybe the fence comes down here. And it's like a white picket fence behind him. And then there would have to be like the neighbor's house, which we can just do a very rough sketch in there because it wouldn't be in focus too much because that's not the idea of the picture. And then there's another tree back here that we can see branches and leaves. But again, this would not be all that important in our picture, because what's important is Popeye. So anyway, there's our picture of Popeye. You can move this down a little bit like that. As he storms out, who knows, maybe he's angry, maybe he's happy. But he's on his way. So there's our Popeye drawing. And until then, keep drawing and keep having fun.